Okay, did you know that right now, literally as we speak, AI retrieval systems are throwing away 70% of your website's content? Just tossing it out. All that hard work, the research, the messaging you've agonized over, completely ignored before the AI even begins to formulate an answer for a user.
So let's talk about it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to decode exactly how AI retrieval and machine trust intelligence actually work. You know, for the last 20 years or so, we've been completely obsessed with designing websites for human eyes. Beautiful layouts, clever brand voices, stunning visuals. But the game? It's fundamentally changed. Today, we're tackling the core problem of designing for humans versus designing for the machines that are now basically our primary information gatekeepers. Get ready, because we're about to break down the mechanics of the machine-first web.
Here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, the 70% content problem. 2, the AI retrieval pipeline. 3, what AI actually wants. 4, 5 steps to fix it. And finally, 5, measuring your machine trust. Let's jump right in.
All right, Section 1, the 70% content problem.
Have you ever wondered why your beautifully written, perfectly polished pages just aren't showing up when you ask Claude, ChatGPT, or Google's AI Overviews a direct question about your industry? It really highlights a massive disconnect. Are you writing exclusively for humans while machines are actually acting as your true gatekeepers? See, we humans, we love a conversational brand voice. We love sweeping styling and clever little navigation menus. We like pretty things. But the AI, it simply does not care. It's totally indifferent to your gorgeous color palette or your witty footer. And if the machine can't efficiently parse your information, well, the human reader is never even going to get the chance to see it.
Which brings us to a really brilliant concept from SiteNexis. AI systems don't read pages, they process chunks. Understanding this distinction is the foundation of modern SEO. Traditional SEO, where we're just hammering on keywords, page density, and dwell time, is failing spectacularly in the era of AI search. If you are still optimizing for legacy crawlers, you're missing the fact that large language models ingest data in a completely different way.
Moving on to Section 2, the AI retrieval pipeline.
To actually fix this problem, we gotta pop the hood and look at the hidden mechanics. We need to understand what happens the absolute millisecond an AI crawler hits your page. It runs your content through what's called a deterministic extraction pipeline. Let's walk through these 6 stages. First, it renders the raw HTML. Second, it strips out all the structural chrome, menus, sidebars, headers, all that. Third, it splits the remaining text into chunks. Fourth, it converts those chunks into a mathematical vector representation. Fifth, it scores those vectors for relevance against whatever the user asked. And finally, sixth, only the absolute highest scoring chunks get used to summarize and cite the answer. If your content breaks down at literally any of these steps, you are invisible.
Let's hit pause on step 3 for a second. Chunking. What exactly is a semantic chunk? Well, it's a discrete little unit of extracted content, usually around 300 to 600 tokens. Think of a token as just a piece of a word. When the AI rips your page apart into these tiny blocks, that specific block has to be able to survive entirely on its own. If your chunk splits mid-sentence, or if it relies on context from like 3 paragraphs up to make sense, it loses its meaning and it fails the relevance score completely.
Here is the brutal reality of that extraction pipeline. Think about what gets ruthlessly filtered out. Navigation menus, footers, cookie banners, and meandering claims that need a ton of extra context. Basically all the human-focused boiler. Now compare that to what the AI actually consumes. Named entities, specific hard facts, structured summaries, and super direct answers. The machine absolutely craves high information density. It wants the facts, and it wants them right up front.
Which brings us to Section 3, what AI actually wants.
So, now that we know what actually survives that brutal extraction pipeline, how do we write content that makes it to the finish line, the citation stage? I'm going to be really blunt here. The AI does not care about your brand voice. It cares about information density. Fluff, long qualifications, decorative text. These are major failure points during that vector scoring stage. A chunk of text that opens with a clear definition and ends with a verifiable claim is mathematically going to crush a beautifully written paragraph that takes 200 words just to get to the point.
In fact, SiteNexis data reveals a critical threshold, 40%. If more than 40% of the text pulled from your page is site chrome, footers, or just repeated boilerplate, your machine readability score tanks right below 60. You are literally suffocating your own signal with noise. The AI looks at the page and essentially decides, nope, too much work to find the facts, and moves on.
Okay, enough doom and gloom. Section 4, 5 steps to fix it. Let's get actionable.
How do we optimize for the machine-first web right now? Here are your 5 rules. Number 1, write self-contained semantic paragraphs. No dangling references. Number 2, explicitly define your primary entities. Don't just say we. Tell the AI exactly who you are. Number 3, use headings for structural depth, not style. Number 4, put your biggest, punchiest claims in the first 200 words. And number 5, minimize that boilerplate by using template-separated navigation and footers.
I actually want to harp on Rule 3 for a second, because this is where so many designers just get it completely wrong. Use your heading hierarchy, H1 to H2 to H3, strictly to outline the depth of your content, not for visual styling. If you use an H2 tag just because you want the font to look big and pretty for humans, you are totally breaking the semantic structure the AI needs. The machine relies on those tags to map out the logical relationship of your ideas. Using them for aesthetics just confuses the entire retrieval system.
All right, final section. Section 5, measuring your machine trust.
So the big question, how do you actually know if you're doing this right? That is exactly where SiteNexis steps in. It's the ultimate intelligence tool for the machine-first web. Legacy SEO tools totally miss AI readiness, but SiteNexis runs a massive 4-layer analysis stack. Layer 1 is your SEO intelligence and performance. Layer 2 dives deep into AI readability and entity intelligence. Layer 3 maps out your AI visibility. And Layer 4 actually simulates machine trust and retrieval. It runs 16 different intelligence agents simultaneously across all 4 layers in a quick 60-second scan. It's not looking at keywords, it's looking at how an AI brain actually interprets your site.
It literally models your content against the major AI platforms, so you might see visibility scores like a 91 on Claude, an 82 on Google AI Overviews, or a 74 on Perplexity. It tells you exactly where you're showing up, where you're missing, and most importantly, why you're missing, based entirely on the signals we've been talking about today. All of this feeds into the main intelligence dashboard, giving you 12 distinct scores from a single scan. You get metrics like your retrieval readiness, AI visibility, entity trust, and machine trust. And honestly, the best part? No black boxes. Every single point deduction maps to a totally explainable, fixable issue. If your machine trust drops 15 points, it tells you exactly which entity validation you missed, so you can just go in and fix it.
So here's the bottom line. It's time to stop designing purely for humans. The paradigm has completely shifted. The gatekeepers aren't humans browsing search results anymore. They're autonomous systems processing semantic chunks. So I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to adopt a machine-first mindset and build for the machine-first web? From SiteNexis.